This is the story of the Blob Mob, a mob of tiny monsters that live inside of the walls of an apartment on Fulton Avenue in a cozy little town. On this particular day, Gary, the leader of the so-called mob, scheduled an emergency meeting with Artie, his right-hand man. As Artie calmly smoked his cigarette, Gary explained the situation they were in. "Well, you see, Artie, this morning the colonel was picked up by a human and placed in a prison of some sorts, and we must retrieve him." "What are your thoughts on this, Artie?" "Well, boss," said Artie, "Iz thinks that Rock and Ruby should take this one. It's right up their alley." Artie had the right idea, seeing as how Rock Lobster and Ruby Red were not only lethal assassins, but they had been trained by circus freaks and acquired a unique set of skills. These skills would come in handy on a dangerous mission such as this one. Rock and Ruby wasted no time and quickly began lowering themselves down from their posts with a roll of thread. Once down, Ruby constructed a catapult used from a paint stir stick, while Rock climbed onto the tallest thing he could find. Although they had never attempted this trick before, there was no time to waste with stupid things like safety. Ruby flew through the air like an eagle soars over a beautiful terrain searching for its prey. Rock, on the other hand, fell into a bowl of water that was just sitting in the sink. Ruby landed onto the sugar canister like a gentle feline and began making her way towards the colonel. She shimmied down dog treats and a coconut sea turtle that the humans had created, believing that they were crafty and unique. As she pondered how insane one would have to be to create such a horrible thing, a human walked by. Lucky for Ruby, she had been trained in the art of disguise and quickly camouflaged herself in with the owls. Once in the clear again, Ruby spotted the colonel in a basket. She crafted a bridge using a creamer packet the humans had so foolishly forgotten about. Ruby and the colonel stood on top of the cage that had once imprisoned the colonel, and at that moment, Ruby realized she had not thought this through. "Well, Ruby, what now?" the colonel asked, but before Ruby could admit to her defeat, she heard a voice, the most beautiful voice she had ever heard. "Hey, you guys!" shouted Rock. "I thought you might need a hand. Say hello to Ricardo." As Ricardo leapt into the air like a larger kid doing a cannonball, Ruby and the colonel grabbed onto him and drifted safely to the ground. They were met at the landing point by Gary and Artie, who were both very happy to see them. "Well, Ruby, another job well done," Gary congratulated. "And you, Colonel, no more late-night trips to the fridge. You know how these humans like to eat late at night, even though it's not good for their metabolisms." "Sorry, boss. You're right," the colonel replied. "Say, where the hell is Rock at?" Gary asked, as the rest of the group enjoyed the sweet, sweet victory. "I'm over here!" Rock yelled. But no one could hear him. To be continued.